Hey guys, it's me again. I'm back. This time I wanted to talk about why um my main issues with women and why I gave up on them, and just like I gave up on men. Um but yeah, I've talked about this briefly before, but I mean, let's just be honest with each other. There are examples of disabled people getting married, dating other disabled and non-disabled people, and all of this stuff. And like, let me just say from the outset, like, I was able to experience, um, you know what, that a certain type of physical love. So I'm not necessarily inexperienced in that either. I mean, it was only with one person, but our relationship was pretty fairly long. I wouldn't say super long, but fairly long. Definitely for people that were in our age range, I would say it was. But and anyway, yeah, I we just have to be honest that I'm the exception to the rule, and these people that you see on YouTube, they're the exception to the rule. And I'm gonna repeat this again, but I think that disabled people should definitely be prepared to learn to live their lives devoid of partnership and devoid of any sort of romance. Um and yeah, to be prepared to just be like that, because let's face it, women don't want to date us, and that's fine. They don't owe us anything, but I feel like a lot of women accuse us of hating them just for acknowledging facts. Like, I'm not I wish it was different, because a lot of it is based on prejudice. Let's also face that. But I'm not saying that they owe me anything, and it's not coming from a place of hatred. I'm just stating like what most people understand. And even if most people don't say it outright, they understand that, right? They take their friend aside, and it's like, are you sure you want to marry this disabled person? Um so yeah, that's part of the reason. Um and I'm not saying it doesn't happen with males. Of course it does. Of course it does. But women are the ones that make a big deal about preference and stuff, like I talked about in my other videos. Um, and this moves into my other point. Like, I just do not have any resources at all for a relationship, and I think women know that. And out of all the um I guess you could say criticisms of femininity, of feminism, and of women that I have, um, this is probably the most understandable. But yeah, I um I really don't have the type of resources for a relationship, and most disabled people, male or female, really don't. So um but the problem is that I still see a lot of women like go for, and I know not all, I have to say that straight up, but they do go for the bad boy with just like no job, but someone who's like really trying, getting their degrees and stuff like that, I guess we're not exciting enough for them or something, but it is a thing that happens. Simply acknowledging that it happens and that it might be a problem again is not the same thing as saying that they owe me anything or that I hate them, because I don't. I understand, at the biological level and at the societal level why stuff like this happens. And um that leads me to the point, which is just like I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm not it, even on a more general level. And this actually comes from Angela Davis. I've read Angela Davis's stuff and Virginia Woolf's stuff and um Bell Hooks and a few other feminists, right? And but this Angela Davis from her book Women, Race and Class, which is a good book. I highly recommend that you guys read that. She she talks about the relationships of, the people who were subjugated in the United States in the 19th century, and how the system was such that, like, they couldn't follow strict gender roles. So sometimes in these relationships of subjugation, to not upset the monetization or the shadow ban gods, to put it mildly, they had to interchange their labor. So sometimes the male was the one looking after the kids and helping to nurse and the kids, but sometimes the female would go out to hunt and bring back food, right? Because of the position they were in. It's not like that if they had a family, they couldn't rely on the master, right? The master didn't care about them, so they had to interchange their labor, and I can never interchange my labor in a relationship, and that's probably the number one thing. And I hope that um that's another thing too, neither men nor women, but especially women, because women, I'm sorry, I have to say it, they tend to be more self-righteous about it, but they don't support disabled people, even within feminist circles. Um, but I hope they come to support a system of, I don't want to say welfare, but yeah, probably welfare is right as a word that allows us to make up for not being able to interchange our labor. And that's coming anyway with AI and stuff. Some form of universal basic income is going to be necessary. And since women are on the forefront of that, um, and a lot of unpaid childcare, they should be in favor of that. They really should be. But yeah, going more into this is more of like the social stuff, going more deeper into my gender concerns about women is that many, again, not all, but many do um say they want a particular man who's nice and all of this stuff and emotionally available and whatnot. Um, but then a lot of them they go after time and time again manipulative men or manipulative people, and they just never ever learn, even with therapy sometimes. And I'm sure many men have had this experience, but let's say you do open up to a female who is your girlfriend, um, and who is your partner, right? Very likely, many of them will say, "Oh, why are you doing that? You're a man. You shouldn't open up like that." I've I've experienced that with my own mother, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I know it's a common experience for guys, and women really they they really don't want to address some of the internalized crap that they have against us. I'm sorry, but that's that's the truth. Just as much as men don't want to um realize the opposite. Um but yeah, all of this especially just led me to just say I give up on women. I give up on chasing them. I've given up. Um, and now what comes after this, which again I think a lot of people miss about me, is what I'm gonna talk about next in my next video. This is really gonna be a series of videos working up to this third one, and I hope the people who watch this one go ahead and watch the other one and then the last ones. Alright, bye. See you then.